That's right. We are looking today, Mortal Kombat Smoke from MK3. This is the Storm Collectibles 2019 New York Comic Con exclusive figure. Let's get a look at the figure itself. Now, you'll see I've already got Smoke out of package. This is the first Cyborg figure from MK3 that they released, I believe. Cyrax they also had at the show, and he'll be getting a regular release pretty shortly, I would imagine. So you will be able to get Cyrax. He's not any kind of exclusive or anything. Smoke, you get some good motion, as you would expect from a Storm Collectibles figure. He's got, a lot of good stuff in the shoulders, butterfly joints, double jointed elbows. He's got an ab crunch. He's got a pretty good joint down here in the hips. Speaking of hips, you can get him basically to do a split. It goes out to the front. Double jointed knee that works really well. Actually, works even better than I initially realized, so that's good. Ankle articulation, which has been notoriously kind of spotty on some of the Storm figures, talking about Goro, of course, works pretty well with Smoke, so I like it. The head, brand new, obviously. Let's get the details on the helmet there. Look really nice, I do think. On the back, you've got the three cable things hanging down off the top of his head. If you remember the designs of the original Cyborgs from MK3, they all had that, so. Overall, they nailed the look of it, in my opinion. One thing you want to be sure to note is that he has I don't know what you can call this, his chest plate thing opens up, and you can see some of the exposed wiring in there, and a little hole there that you can plug something into. We'll get to that, but these things do pop off, by the way. They're just they clip onto the bottom, so you'll see there, it's just kind of a clip, goes onto that. So if it pops off, very easy to pop back on, and you're good to go. Alright, so as far as accessories go, he comes with these two little smoke effects that you can clip into his chest, essentially. You can kind of wedge them in between his chest plate thing and the body of the figure. We'll show you what that looks like in a while. He does have his harpoon. He essentially has the same move as Scorpion in Mortal Kombat 3, where he can just do a get over here type harpoon, shoots out of his chest. And you'll see here that plugs into the hole in his chest, which, again, we'll show you. He comes with these little bombs. He actually comes with 4 of them, which is good. So if you misplace one, you got extras. He comes with this bomb, which is reminiscent of his Fatality, which, honestly, it looks really awesome. And it attaches to this little clamp thing that you can put on top of his shoulder. So you put the bomb in there, close the clamp around it, and it does hold. Also, you'll notice that the clamp is on a nice long hinge, and this piece that attaches to his shoulder is hinged too, so you can actually attach it to the figure and pretty much pose it however you want. And it's on a swivel as well, I believe, so you can actually spin it around, which, again, some good options. And lastly, he comes with all of his alternate hands. Now, he comes with the 2 fists that he initially has in the box. He comes with 2 kind of open gripping style hands, or at the ready kind of hands, I don't know. 2 wide open, as I drop one, 2 of these wide open hands with the fingers spread pretty far apart. And lastly, the ones I've got on him now are more gripped than the ones I showed before. The fingers are bent slightly more inward. I don't know, these are good for martial arts poses and things like that. So overall, Smoke does come with a pretty decent amount of accessories. Let's see what they look like, shall we? Alright, so here he is with these smoke effects attached, and you'll see that it's molded to be rising up off him, but if I'm 100% honest, I don't really care for these. They just clip in under the front of the chest plate, and there's another tab in the back that you can see that clips in right there. Not really my favorite thing, so I'm just going to elect to leave them off of my figure. But if you do like them, the easy way to tell which one goes on which is there is an R on the inside of one that'll go under his right arm, and obviously the other one will have a L underneath it. So at the very least, you're going to know where to put each of the smoke effects. But for me personally, I'm not going to use them. So let's move on. So here you see him with his spear attachment. As I showed before, it just kind of clips right into the little hole there inside of his chest. So it ports right in there. It's actually some pretty good detail on the rope. You can see the cabling and stuff is all twisted up nicely. And then the harpoon itself has a nice little trident design on it. So it is cool. If you have the figure stood up straight, it kind of goes down just because of the weight of the actual spear itself. But if you lean them back a little bit, you can straighten it out. And it does look good. I actually really like it as an accessory. I think it's really cool. And you'll get some, if you're going to pose the figure up, you'll get some options out of it. So I do like this. Just kind of going freestyle with the camera here, but I wanted to show the bomb and the clasp thing that goes along with it. you can see that it attaches right to the top of his shoulder like that. And you could do it on either shoulder, because this shoulder also has like little grip groove things in there for it. So once you get it attached, it is, as I mentioned before, it is posable. It will twist. It will has a hinge right here where my finger is, and it also has another hinge right here at the top of the bomb. So you will be able to, you know, kind of angle it and get some different things out of it. And as I mentioned before, the bomb is removable. So, you know, this little gripping claw thing is, you know, just kind of made to fit the bomb. So you do have options. I like this attachment piece though. It is really cool, and I'm glad that it's posable. Scale wise, for size comparison here he is next to the Mortal Kombat 2 version of Smoke. Last year, I want to say 2018's New York Comic Con exclusive. And you can see that MK3 Smoke is a bit taller. Now, I think there's two reasons for this. One, Storm has been making their figures a little bit taller than they were when they made the Ninja mold the first time around. So if you look at the new upcoming MK Trilogy version of Scorpion, I do believe he's a little taller than these original version 1 Ninja bodies. So maybe the scale of the line has just increased slightly. But it really doesn't bother me all that much because, again, this is meant to be like a cyborg, and, you know, it wouldn't necessarily have to have 100% of the same proportions as the original Ninja Lin Kuei host body, I guess. Story behind this, for those who don't know, in the original version of MK3, the Lin Kuei Ninja Clan was actually turning all of their assassins into cyborgs, for the most part. So that's what happened to Smoke. He was, you know, once a human just like this, and then they put him through that program, and he wound up looking like this in the following game. The reason that didn't happen to Sub-Zero is because he abandoned the clan, and that's why in MK3 he's not wearing the ninja costume anymore. He's wearing just a totally different thing. So yeah, a little bit of a history lesson. This version of Smoke did not carry over into the new MK9, I believe, the NetherRealm timeline, because they did the Cyber Initiative thing to Sub-Zero instead. So you got Cyber Sub-Zero out of that. But ultimately, that's just your little crash course history lesson in Smoke. One quick thing to note is that if you have Noob Saibot, he has the blood effects that go on the top of the neck and on the bottom of the head to make it look like a decapitation. So the one effect does fit on the top of Smoke's ball peg on his neck. Unfortunately, the other one, the ball peg is a different size, so it doesn't actually fit on the bottom of the head. So that will not be able to work. However, if you have Sub-Zero and he has the spine rip fatality move, you will be able to take the peg of that and put it into the Smoke helmet. So you can make it look like Sub-Zero has ripped the spine out of the cyborg. Unfortunately, with Noob Saibot, you won't be able to connect this one little blood effect here. But luckily, that looks good. That works for me. So bottom line, what I'm going to tell you right now is I do really like this version of Smoke. I think it's an awesome figure. I'm really happy with the articulation and the various different like interchangeable parts he comes with. I'm really looking forward now to Cyrax and Sector. I knew those were both going to be good figures, but now that I have essentially the same figure in my collection already, I already know what to expect from the articulation and all the different poses I'm going to be able to get him into, so I'm excited. Alright, my name is Captain McKay, and I will catch you in the next one. Later on.